Hey, what's happening? Paul Ingram here with College Center. Today we are working with the Nunchuck. That's the name of this weapon in Filipino martial arts. It's also known as Chaco, but in most martial arts, this weapon is commonly known as Nunchucks. If you've never worked with this weapon before and you're just starting out, then today is your lucky day because we're going to go over 5 essential skills that you need to know, basics, on this weapon, at least to get started with this weapon. If you appreciate the Nunchucks or the Tayuk, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know down in the comments if you have experience with this weapon or if you're a brand newbie with this weapon. And of course, if you're new to the College Center channel, hit that subscribe button and then tap that bell. Before we get into swinging the Tayuk or the Nunchucks around, first, quickly, let's talk about grip. There's a lot of different schools of thought when it comes to gripping this weapon. Some people say that you should grip it all the way down at the bottom. That way you have maximum reach, bam, to strike with the weapon. And other people say you should grip the Nunchuck up here close to the chain because you have better control over the Nunchuck. And this is true if you're gonna get into the fancy, theatrical flips and wraps and all that stuff. But you can also grip it right in the middle. I am the school of thought, play around with the different grips. You should be familiar and be able to operate the Nunchucks anywhere you grip it, whether it's way down here for reach, way up here for control, or right in the middle, or anything in between. All right, don't be picky. Don't worry about falling into any, dogmatic way of thinking of exactly how you should hold the Nunchucks. Gain skill, and then it doesn't matter how you hold them. All right, our first technique on the Nunchucks is our basic under the arm switch. I'm gonna start off by holding the chuck in my right hand. I'm gonna flip it upward over my right shoulder, and then I'm gonna catch the other side with my left hand underneath my right armpit, right there. I'm gonna let go of my right hand. I'm gonna swing the chuck up and over my left shoulder, my right hand ready to catch that free chuck underneath my left armpit this time. And we're just gonna repeat this motion back and forth just like this, side to side. Just working that under the arm switch. And this is really good for developing that sensitivity on the weapon, understanding how the weapon moves, how it swings, where to catch it, and building some confidence with the Nunchuck or the Chaco right here. Now, one of my goals that I like to tell students when they're first working with this weapon is you want to be able to do this drill, whether it's fast, slow, I don't care what the speed is of this drill, but you want to be able to get 100 catches in a row. So if you mess it up or you drop the Nunchucks, then you got to start all over until you can get 100 catches in a row. And that's going to be a great foundation to where you're building a pretty solid understanding of how this weapon moves. Our next technique is going to be our horizontal strikes. So we're going to start off in this chamber position right here. Now we can initiate the horizontal strikes from any hand. That's kind of one of the things I really like about the Nunchucks, at least for training wise, is that it's going to work both the right hand and the left hand. You need them to be pretty equal so that way you can really maximize the skill here. But right now we're going to start off with the right hand on the horizontal strikes. I'm going to strike it out on the forehand and come back on the backhand right there. And then there's 2 basic methods here. Look at my left hand right here. You can see that the chuck can either go over the arm or we can strike it where the chuck comes under the arm. Now you're gonna see how I am catching the chuck, the swinging chuck, very close to the chain, rebounding it off of my body or off of my arm here. And we wanna make sure we're rebounding the free chuck, the swinging chuck, close to the chain. That's where the body can absorb that momentum here. Right here. And then I'll show you on this side as well. Same thing, off of the arm, bouncing it off of the arm, okay, close to the chain of the swinging chuck. We don't want to hit with the end of that swinging chuck, and bounce that off of our body. But just make sure you're practicing both ways, both variations, under the arm and on top of the arm. Okay? Again, from the same position, you can also start swinging it out, horizontal strikes with the left hand as well. Always a good idea to practice both right hand and left hand, both variations, over the arm and under the arm. Okay, right there. That's our horizontal strikes. Give it a go, and let's go ahead. So that's our horizontal strikes. Give it a go, and let's move on to technique number 3. Our third essential Tabuk Tayuk technique is our vertical strikes. This time, we're gonna start off, you can either start off right here at that chamber position, or you can just let that swinging chuck hang. We're gonna strike it vertical and then come back up. Now, you're gonna see how when I strike it down, I'm doing a technique called killing that chuck, and then I'm gonna come up and I'm gonna rebound it off of my tricep right here. So I'm gonna kill it and then rebound it right here. That's one way of doing the vertical strikes here. Don't worry about power in the beginning. Just get some coordination, get some flow in, and as you're getting better and better with these movements, then you could always start to increase the power. Now, another way you can do it, you can kill the chuck just like this, which is gonna be the most common way that you would be smashing something from overhead on the vertical strike. But you can also rebound off of your hip here. Again, we're gonna rebound that swinging chuck close to the chain. And another thing you can do is you can rebound it off of the arm here as well. So you can rebound both directions, up and down, off of the arm. So you got 3 options here. You can kill the chuck and rebound off the tricep. You can rebound off the hip and rebound off the tricep. Or you can rebound off the arm and rebound off the tricep right there as well. So something that you can practice. Do your switch, use your switch. That way you can also practice on the left-hand side as well. Again, working the killing technique, the rebound off the hip technique, and the rebound off of the arm technique. Right there. Our 4th beginner essential technique on the Tabuk Tayuk is our downward figure 8. And there's a couple ways that we can do this as well, a few different variations. So we're gonna go ahead and start swinging down on this downward figure 8. Forehand and backhand, forehand and backhand. And we're just gonna draw a big 8 right in front of the body here. Another way we can work this is we have what's called a tight figure 8. We're gonna keep the hand relatively stationary, and we're gonna put all of that energy into the swinging chuck. So you have the large figure 8, and we have the tight or small figure 8 right here. Let me show you from another angle. Large figure 8 and small figure 8. Okay. Use your rebounds and your switch to switch to the other side, and of course work it off your left-hand side. Large figure 8. You can make this as large as you want, and small or tight figure 8. Large figure 8 and small figure 8. Rebound it, come right back up. As you can see, the skills are just building off of each other from technique number 1 all the way to our final technique for this video, technique number 5. Technique number 5 on the Tabuk Tayuk, the last one for this video, is the jab. We're gonna start off right here in the chamber position underneath the armpit this time, and then we're gonna fire it straight out like a jab and then tuck it right back underneath the armpit right there. So fire it out, we're gonna jab it out and then tuck it back underneath. Now, this is not I'm smacking it down. That's fine though. I mean, if you want to kind of train it going down, you know, you can do that. But this is more of a jab where it's projectiling out, coming straight out and going bam, jabbing the opponent, and then quickly chambering it right back underneath. It's a very fast attack, kind of hard to detect, but that's what we've got, the jab. Yep, we'll switch it out, chamber it, and work the jab on the other side as well. Right there. So one of my favorite parts about training with the Tabak Tayak is that even just these beginner 5 essential drills, we can start to build combinations and link all of these skills together into one flow. We can start off with skill number 1, or the under the arm switch, and just go slow and take your time with all this. Moving into technique number 2, our horizontal strikes, working all those different variations. Then from here we can go into our vertical strikes, again working in our different variations. Okay, we go into our 4th technique, which is our downward figure 8s, working those variations. And then into our 5th technique, which is our jab right here. Okay, flip it up, catch, switch hands, and then we can work the same thing right back on the other side. And as you're getting better and stuff, then you can speed it up. But you can also start to mix these things, all of these techniques together. And you can start to really flow with it. And you can figure it out for yourself, play around, and you can start to have some fun with your nunchucks and start developing some good skills. All right, my friend, there you have it. Some good fundamental beginner skills on the nunchucks, or in Filipino martial arts, known as a Tabak Tayak, or sometimes also known as the Chako, just depending on what style or system of Filipino martial arts that you may be training. For more training on this unique and fun weapon, I'll go ahead and put some links to some other videos I've done in the past on this weapon, some different techniques and stuff like that down in the description below, and also at the end of this video. So get out there, go train, and have fun, and explore and discover, and then I'll catch you back here next time.